Peace. This is your brother Mfalme. I want to say power to the people, power to our people, respect our people. See it every day. Today's topic is something that's trending, but I've been talking about for at least 7 years. Some of them are being referred to as looms. Other people know another system which is similar but not the same as the Susu, as well as Black and group economics. These things are very important. They are very high in the community right now. We have a lot of people that are trying to be involved because of trending matters, as well as what they are trying to accomplish in the community this time of year. So around this time of year, you have a lot of people that will rush to try and make money, and they'll look for things that are everywhere that you need to be all over the map. What we try to do is educate people, keep them in the loop, and let them understand how things work so that they're at their best benefit and so that they don't get themselves in trouble with what they're trying to accomplish and what they're trying to do. Right this second, I'm going to share this video one time with my group, and we are live on the brother. Some of you guys know him by various names, but I call him Khanet or Haru page, and we will get that moving. So, without further ado, the line is open for anybody that has any immediate questions. My phone number is actually on the page, and I will give you guys a brief description of the difference of what a loom is and what a Susu is, and how they either are or are not illegal. And how you can keep them all legal, and how you can use them to your benefit to get things done. So first, we'll go over what a loom is. A loom is somewhat of a buy-in economic structure. It basically lets you form a group of people. And when you get the group of people, everybody that buy in pays a community source and gives their money to the person in the middle of the group. So sometimes you see them formed in little octagons like the flyer, if anybody saw it. It lets you get 5 or 10 people, for instance, to pay one party and one source. When the person that gets paid is paid, everybody in the group moves to a different position down, as everybody is still supposed to be recruiting people coming in and coming in and coming in. There's 2 problems with that. One, it likely is a Ponzi, so you can literally look at it as a Ponzi scheme, because at a certain point, if nobody starts recruiting more people and more people in, the people on the outside never get paid and people can miss out, or however that goes. But the fact that the loom represents a Susu style model, you have to understand what a Susu is. A Susu is, in my culture, it's a Jamaican way to raise money for a reason, a thing, or something that you're trying to generate. Like, let's say all of our moms grew up together, and they may have a Susu to help the kids go to school, get supplies, and they all put into one fund a month for like a year or whatever, and everybody gets the school supplies next year. They break it up evenly. There's nobody that's left out, and that's why it's a Susu. Nobody is left out. There's nobody that misses anything. What a lot of people are missing with these types of programs is they aren't doing the additional factor of trying to stay in the group and rebuying in. So let's say it was a $10 loom, right? You have 8 people on the outside, 4 people on the inside. So now you're at 12 people, right? And then you have 1 person or 2 people on the inside of that. So now you're at 14 people, and you have 1 person in the middle. That's 15 people total. Everybody paying $10 minus the person in the middle would basically give that person $140, okay? Well, what that person is supposed to do in the middle is then take their $10, join back into the outside rim of the loom, put $10 back in, and everybody else is supposed to, depending on where they shift to, purchase in again. You're supposed to do it more than once. You're not supposed to buy in and then forget about it, or buy in and never pay, or buy in and leave the people out. You're literally supposed to repurchase with the same group of trusted friends, family, or strangers into the same loom. So that is how the loom becomes a Ponzi scheme, because everybody is paying. Not once, though. You keep paying it until the number of people in the loom get paid. So if you have 15 people in the loom, everybody has to make 15 $10 payments to the same people in the group. Now, the groups do fracture and split off so that you can move into the group, but the people and the number of people and positions of people in the loom aren't supposed to change. You fracture off so that the existing people in the group can go to the new people and open up new spaces, because you already have a trusted group of people. So your 15 group becomes a 30-person group. So now you have two groups of the equal numbers on the left and on the right. And that's how you're supposed to do it. What's happening, however, is a lot of people aren't understanding that concept, or the people that are pitching that concept to people are just telling them, hey, pay once and you can make $800. Yeah, you're right. If you're in the middle, or if you're one of the people that is next in line when they form the new split. But if you only pay once, that means 19 people or 7 or 12 other people on the outside aren't going to get any participation on the next one. Also, the money amount matters. For instance, if there's 12 of us and we're going to do a 12-week loom, right? One person can get paid a week or every 12 days, but we still would have to buy in 12 times. No matter how often we do it, we could do it 12 hours, but people are going to have to pay 12 times. The amount that you're paying out also has to match the amount of people and the time. I know that's really technical for people, but here's a quick math. If you were doing a loom with 5 people, one person in the middle and 4 people buying in, right? Let's say it was $100, but you were doing it over an hour, like you wanted it to cycle an hour. Well, all you're doing is taking the money and making a circle. You're not actually giving yourself any time to make a loom happen. So you would need like a week, so that you're putting in $100 this week, $100 next week, $100 the week after, and then $100 the week after. That's 4 weeks. 4 people are going to get paid, plus the person that started it. That person in the middle that started it, however, is the 4th person for the last person to get paid. So that's still 4 people, 4 weeks, everybody's getting paid on the 5th week. Now, what's happening is the first person may need the money today to pay their rent, right? So they need $500 to pay their rent. We form a loom. They keep $400 for the rent, have $100 stashed away for when they buy back in. And then in the next weeks, they pay in, and then they get paid, and they do it again. And then we pay 5 people's rent over the course of 5 weeks. That's the purpose of it. Now, this gets me to what a Susu is. A Susu is literally that. It's not a loom. A loom is, you have a fractional system where everybody in the group breaks off eventually and goes into another group. So if there's 15 people, you break off into 2 groups of 30, or at least with 30 spots. And then the 30 group is going to break off into 2 groups of 60 spots, equally broken up, 2 groups of 30 now. And it keeps growing so you can add people to it. But once the spots get full, how you keep yourself from getting in trouble or being a Ponzi scheme is, once you're full, you don't have to stop. You just start rotating the people, because at a certain point, you only know so many people. So you literally want to start rotating those people. So if you have 8 people here and 8 people there, you don't need any more people. Your loom is full. You're just rotating the positions from the way that the people came in and converting your loom into a Susu. So when you actually are doing a Susu, or in Africa they call it a Susu, it's ESUOSUO, I believe. And in Jamaica it's just Susu. So when you're doing these things, you have to understand how the math works. It is on the person telling you about it if it's your first time hearing about it. But everybody African, Haitian, or Jamaican already knows about this. We've been doing it for hundreds of years. So whenever you see like a Jamaican store or a barbershop or some kind of business, 9 times out of 10, they didn't get that money from a bank. They got it from a group of families forming a Susu to help that person start a business. So now the more important thing is, what is a Susu? SuSus are what we recommend, and we actually have started SuSus for people, and we actually have some, like we have a SuSu to pay your phone bill. We also have a SuSu that we're going to be starting to help pay your car payments, and then we're going to be doing one to start and pay your car payment and your house note. Now, how it would work is basically real simple. With the cell phone one, you have 4 people that pay $20 a week, and you pay off 1 cell phone bill a week. What this does is it doesn't actually change the amount that you're paying your cell phone bill. It changes the duration of when you're paying your cell phone bill. So instead of paying $80 out of one check, you're only paying $20 a week, and your bill still is getting paid. So if you go to our page, which is Pay My Phone Bill, just search it up on Facebook. It's just Pay My Phone Bill. You can see that you can join a SuSu, and a third party, which is us, handles it for you. So you don't have to lose any money. You don't have to worry about if the phone bill is actually getting paid. We literally pay the phone bill directly for you, or do a gift card for you guys, so you guys have an $80 gift card. The point of that is there's only 4 people. Everybody gets paid to get the phone bill this week. So if there's more than 4 people, you don't add them to the group and do more people. You literally just start a new group. So you have one group of 4, the next group of 4, the next group of 4, and then you guys can start group economically building. Now, how it can become profitable is it's always going to be $80. That doesn't mean like my phone bill is only $55. It's not $80. So if I did this, I would actually make a profit after I paid my phone bill because I would have a residual left over. And that's the point of SuSus, is if we help you build something, we help you develop something, we help you grow something, you are supposed to have something extra at the end of a SuSu, and that's where the math, the time, and the dates start to matter. You see what I'm saying? So if you're not mathematically actually doing the SuSu properly, you can actually lose money. For example, if we said there's 5 people and you're going to do it over 4 weeks and everybody has to pay $20, one person is left out of that math. As well as if your phone bills are all $120, then it wouldn't work. You need $150 SuSu so that you guys can all make money together. So you have to have somebody that knows the math and the science, or at least has done the math to figure out what is applicable. You also have to see what we're going to do. So I'm going to give you guys the call number right now. So if you guys, I'm going to let Kaneta Haru ask some questions, and then I'm going to give you guys the cell phone number. I'm going to put it right in the chat. It's 256-640-3969. So the brother's going to put that in there. If you guys have any questions, call in. I'm going to do my best to get you guys on the line and answer any questions that you guys have. I know one question that everybody is asking is it illegal? If you're doing a Ponzi scheme, yeah. If you're doing a SuSu or if you're doing a rotating loom, no, it's not. Because it doesn't matter if it gets full, because you're rotating. Everybody's rebuying back in to get the same amount in. Now, some people are like, well, what's the point of that? We all paying the same amount. You're right. But the point is let's say if it's a 12-week loom, one time in 12 weeks, you're going to have a lump sum of money for a smaller payment. So let's say if there was 100 people paying $10 into a loom for 100 weeks, right? Well, then one time this year, sometime, you're going to get $1,000 check or $1,000 bonus, which is just like your tax return. You pay into your tax return or your taxes and get a larger return in. It's the same concept of a SuSu, but the difference is having the exact time, date, and numbers of what you're doing. A loom, like I said, is similar. The only difference is it breaks and splits the groups up when people start to rotate. So if anybody wants to call in that number, can you post that in the chat so they can get that? Some people are asking for it. I'm going to have them posted in the chat right now, and you guys can see where we're at, what we're doing. And it's 256-640-3969. So hit your brother Mfalme up. If you guys have any questions for the chief, let me know. And I can answer pretty much anything. And how this helps us economically, just real brief before I let Haru ask me some questions. This is group economics. Not only is it a trusting exercise, it also helps you guys build your bankroll. Like I said, if you're doing a Susu, I've literally seen people do $20,000 Susus where one time a year somebody gets $20,000 and they've only paid in $100 a month or $200 a month, and at one time they're getting a large sum of money. So that could be for starting a business, developing something, or building something. It just depends on what you're trying to do it for. Like I said, the ones that we're starting for people, one's for the cell phone bill, which we already have that, which is pay my phone bill, just so you guys can see a small form of group economics. And then we're going to go to actually helping people pay their car notes. And then we're going to go to rent, so people can literally see every month, as long as you keep contributing to the Susu, you can have your rent paid on a specific day that has nothing to do with your payroll, your check, or anything like that. So you don't have to live paycheck to paycheck. You know for a fact your rent's going to be paid on the 25th of the month for next month or whatever. So you can see real simple ways of how to do that. If you guys just go join the page, we posted it in the room. It's Pay My Phone Bill. Just search that up and you guys are good to go. So go ahead, Brother Haru, ask me any questions that you got, or something that you think that people might want to know that I'm just overlooking.
Okay, one of the main things, that I wanted to ask, that I'm pretty sure that the people may be in question of, more or less, would be, how would the people go about with sending the money? What proper channel would they have to use in order to send the money?
So that's a good question. That's a real good question. See, the problem with doing online looms or Susus is if you don't have an established business account, they're going to say that you're doing fraud, or they're going to flag your money, and then the person on the other end might not want to hear that. They may think you're trying to get over because they're going to be like, well, I sent my money and it worked fine. And it may have worked fine for them, but PayPal may have stopped your account. So what we try to do is, as a third party, and we're not involved in the pages that we have, we're not involved in any of the looms. So we don't have a position. We're not paying our own phone bills. We are literally just doing the accounting. Turn that off right there. We're literally just doing the accounting and actually becoming the third party entity that's accepting the payments through PayPal as one source that you guys can pay as a membership or as a donation. And they will let it happen because we have already been accepting payments for other things. And then how we do the payout is, like I said, we can pay one of the bills, or if we establish the account for you, we can pay the bills directly to you, or we can do a Visa gift card right to you. So you're going to have a Visa gift card sent right to you. You don't have to worry about refunding it. You don't have to worry about PayPal taking the money out in a week from now. And that will help you guys stop trusting in if somebody's being serious, because as soon as you pay somebody and something goes wrong, even if it's legitimate, you start thinking ill will, as opposed to if you're dealing with one party and everybody's paying into one party, you guys don't have to worry about, like, perfect example, you guys are using PayPal because you trust PayPal to be a payee of your services to a third party. So we can do the same thing with our Susus and our Loom, and get you guys established and get you guys going, as well as if you have a third-party entity like us standing in between you two, you can ask legitimate questions and have no fear that that person is trying to answer a question based on bias. Like, you can say, did that person pay, when you call into me, and I can say, no, they haven't paid yet. If you're talking to the person, they may want to give you an excuse or a reason, and we're not going to do that. We're going to have a 72-hour period. If the person doesn't pay, we're going to remove them and put somebody else in. So that's how we keep you safe. That's how we keep everything going. That was a good question. Indeed.
So my next question would be, as far as the period, with the Loom, does it activate better if the people were actually moving quick to send in the money and to be able to reach the goal of on what we're reaching for?
With the Loom, it does, because the spots rotate. However, like I said, one form of a Loom is illegal. If you're doing a Loom where you're just never paying in again, you're just paying in one time, and then people keep saying, just bring new people in, that's a Ponzi scheme. It's illegal. So they technically could arrest you, or they could take and seize your money, your bank account, all that stuff. That's legitimate. But if you are entering in a Loom knowing that you're going to do that, you are knowing that you are just trying to funnel new people in, and you trust the group that you're in to keep doing that with you, that's something that you guys want to start doing cash, like through the mail or you don't want to start doing PayPal and Cash Square and send money through this and that, because you have to trust the parties and the sources that are keeping it come in. So in my personal opinion, I tell everybody it's better to do a SuSu than a Loom, because you have no risk of somebody saying that's a Ponzi scheme or somebody trying to freeze an account. Everybody is going to get paid. Now, if you're doing like a $10 Loom or a $25 Loom, that's a great structure and business to get in if you know a lot of people or getting in a good position. But at some point, somebody's not getting paid. You have to know that. It's kind of like the lottery. It's who's going to get paid and who's not. Because the people on the outside, if they don't bring anybody in, nobody else is going to move on the inside of them. And that's where you get to have the issues. And that's why you want a rotating loom, not a shifting loom where you have to keep bringing people in and bringing people in. You want a loom where you have 8 people that you don't care. They're always going to do it. When the person in the middle gets paid, 8 comes out, 7 goes in. 7 goes out, 6 comes in. 6 goes out, 5 comes in. 5 goes out, 4 goes in. 3, 2, 1, and then you start over, and you can keep rotating those people into a different position. And the point of that is so at one point in a month, a day, a week, or however you guys structure it, somebody's getting a lump sum of money. Now, that lump sum of money, because one person is always left out, is always going to be higher if you do the math right than the amount that you're paying in. You see what I'm saying? So that's how you go. All right, so we got a caller we're going to take. Hopefully this is for this. It might be a business call. If it is, I apologize. It's your brother Mfalme. How can I help you? It's your brother Mfalme. How can I help you? Can you hear me? Caller, are you there? Caller, are you with us?
Yo, I'm here. Peace.
All right, peace, brother. Peace. It's your brother Mfalme. Who are you at? Where are you from?
I'm down in South Carolina, this October, aka Pilo.
Oh, okay. That's what's up. Go on and ask your question, brother.
Oh, I didn't have a question. I was just tuning in, man, to see what the brother was talking about.
Oh, okay. I appreciate respect. I appreciate that.
Indeed so, indeed so. Peace, brother P-Lo. We basically going over the group economics and, basically trying to clarify things for the people and bringing them up the float and showing them what the benefits would actually be by using the loom as well as the SuSu. So we definitely appreciate you calling in. In briefing, is there anything that you'd like to inquire to the brother Mfalme, the chief, about the loom?
Well, what exactly is the loom? I know about the Susu, if I'm not mistaken, because we just did a bill yesterday on cooperative economics dealing with Djeli.
Okay. So the difference between a SuSu and a loom is unlike a SuSu. So not everybody that participates has a buy-in. You keep putting people in with the expectation that eventually somebody is not going to get paid. But it's kind of like a lottery system of, as long as people keep putting in effort and more people come in, then nobody really is left out, as long as new people, with the theory that there's so many people that don't know about it, can keep coming in. But the difference in what I'm telling people is if you make a loom like a SuSu, then you don't have any issues. Like, for instance, you can start a SuSu with 10 people. You can also start a loom with 10 people. And the desired point is a SuSu never switches. Those 10 people stay the same. In a loom, eventually, once everybody gets paid, they split into 2 groups now of 5 that have 5 open spots. So now you're trying to go from 10 to 20 people, and that's how new people get into the loom. And that's how it's supposed to be done, but that's not really what people have been doing because they don't understand that principle yet. They just are being told, for whatever reason, fraudulently, make one payment and you can make a bunch of money. But it doesn't work that way. Even mathematically, it's impossible. If I pay 100 and all the money's going to one person, who's paying the next 100 for the next person to get hit? So when we're trying to explain to people the difference between a loom and a SuSu and the way to legally do a loom properly, and that's where we're at right now.
Indeed.
So respect. I appreciate you for calling in, good brother. And just stay tuned in. If you have any more questions, hit us back on the line.
Okay, respect.
Respect him.
Respect.
Peace, bro.
Peace.
Indeed, indeed. And another thing too, what I wanted to ask you, more or less bring to the people's attention, in reference to the loom, would be the overall benefits. We always see the benefits in reference to the bank and of on how much that we regularly use a bank. We trust them with our money or whatnot. Can you bring about an even greater clarification and substance to the reason of on why that the loom or the SuSu should be used even more dealing with black economics?
You don't typically need a bank if you have a SuSu system or a loom system that you have already established. For instance, we all know that we can afford $10 or $20. It's not going to hurt us if we throw it to something. And we say we need a loom to help Sister Cherie buy a car. And I just use Cherie because she was the first name I saw. So Madam Cherie, salute. I see you in the room. Let's say we wanted to help her buy a car or a house or whatever. We could all say, well, there's 20 people in our SuSu. We need to have a secondary fund for the car or a SuSu from our group that she doesn't have to pay back or buy into because she's already been a part of the SuSu. So you already have an economic trust built in with your group. So when you approach the group, you are already built a vested interest, or you already have a lump sum of money coming. So if you're in a $2,500 a month SuSu, then you just have to wait 8 months to buy whatever it is you want to buy at $2,500 or under, as well as you could get a little bit more, or you can get a little bit less depending on what you're forming. So you can do smaller SuSus from a larger SuSu from the smaller groups. And that's what it's about. It's exchanging group economics with a purpose and a goal, as well as showing people what compounding interest or building funds is about. See, if we got 10 people at a table and we want to buy something for a party, well, 10 people putting in $10 is still $100 for the party. But it only cost us all collectively $10 that we were going to throw away. And that's what the Loom and the SuSu starts doing. It gives you an economic platform to practice group economics. And that's the point. People practicing group economics is exactly where we need to be at. And that's where we're at. So does anybody else have any more questions or want to call in before I go over the last part of our group economics and then we can make it moving?
Indeed. Indeed. Well, my last thing, like I say, not too many people have actually called in. My thing would be, my last and final question is, like, where did this idea come from and how concrete is this movement as far as with the loom?
So with the loom has been around for a long, long, long time. Somebody just changed the name. It used to be called a gifting circle. And the gifting circle was something that was actually started by the church, but it emulated the SuSu. The SuSu has been around forever because banks wouldn't let black people get loans. So there was no way for you traditionally to get money from a bank post 1923, 1919. Banks weren't giving you money because they were only lending to white establishments and white businesses. So as a community, we would start SuSu and loom style opportunities. And then people would then say, what are we trying to start? A store, a business, whatever it is. And then we would form either a SuSu or a loom style operation to collectively group the money and start the store, the business, or help somebody start the dry cleaners or whatever it is. And then as a group, we would then go and do it again because now we've helped start something in the community. And then you have a community of people, like let's say your son is the first person in the neighborhood to go to college and you don't have the money because he doesn't have a scholarship and the bank isn't going to give him a loan to go to school. Now you would form a SuSu with that dry cleaners or the bakery you helped start or Miss Nita's hair salon. And then those people come together and say, well, now we got to put Miss Kathy's son in college so he can go and start the next business. And that's actually where SuSus and looms come from. And the loom specifically comes from something called a gifting circle because it's actually not illegal to do a gifting circle because you fill out a gifting certificate saying that you are gifting somebody, which you can do tax-free up to $10,000 a year for one person. But somebody else changed the name and now it's something that people are trending towards because of this time of year, but it works if you have a dedicated group that circles in that doesn't always try to add new people. You can split your group to get a bigger fraction, but you still have to stick with we're splitting into 5 and 5, but we still need 10 solid people before we start making payments, and that's how you keep it moving.
Oh, and another question too, right? That is very important that I don't know how I almost left out, but looking at the chart, you know what I mean, and looking at it for what it's worth. This is the thing. Could you quickly explain how initially how it starts with the 8 people, and then how that the loom it gets closer and closer, and like the positions actually change with the person who actually bought in or donated in first? Could you go over that?
Right. So if you guys look at a traditional loom or like that's on our flyer, I'll see if I can pull one up for you guys. The person in the middle is normally the person that started the loom. And then the person that started the loom is position 1. The person that comes in first is position 2. The person that comes in after that is 3. All your looms, if you're looking at a loom and it doesn't have any numbers to it, okay, here we go. Perfect example. So this is a demo of one, all right? So if you guys can see this person right here started it. And then there's 2 numbers or 2 pictures right here, right? So this person here and this person here are 1 and 2. These people on the outside in the green ring are 3, 4, 5, 6. Then the people on the outside are, 1 through whatever that number is. Now, this is why it becomes really important. This number is never supposed to exceed 12 if you're doing a monthly loom. So there's only one person that's supposed to get paid a month. That's going to be the person in the middle. Then next month, the person after that. Now, if you're doing a weekly loom, this number can be comparative to the numbers of weeks in a year. So it has to be equal to that, or it has to rotate that many times equally to the people you have. So what I'm saying is, real simple, if there's 4 people here, we know that 4 people, if we're paying out weekly, are going to get paid 12 times a year if they just keep going. Every month, one of them is going to get paid. 4 of them are going to keep going, so it's going to happen. You're going to rotate 12 times a year, like the cell phone plan. That's why there's 4 of you paying $20. You could pay 4 cell phones a month. Boom. However, if you don't put more people in, and this isn't a dedicated group, the people on the outside, the people in the green, and the people in the pink never are going to get paid because there's nobody to force these people in. So now there's 2 ways to do a loom. A dedicated loom, which means this person, 8, is going to come to the blue side. The pink person, the second one, is going to go to the purple side. And then it's just going to keep going. It's just literally a circle that's going to go right back to the end. And you're just going to go just like a line. You're going to go to the end of the line after you get your lunch. You get your lunch, go to the end of the line. Start over again, wait, get your lunch, start at the end of the line. That's how you're supposed to do a loom. But what a lot of people are doing is doing a forced loom, where they're telling everybody, recruit, pay once. Don't have to pay twice or 5 times or every month. Pay once. And then when more people come in, the people can keep getting paid. So what's happening is the purple one's just going away. They're never coming back. The pink one up here is going into the purple. The green one is going into the pink. The blue is coming into the green. Well, what happens is if you keep doing that, eventually you're going to run out of people, And that's what a Ponzi scheme actually is. That's what Ponzi did to make all that money to scam people. Because the people on the blue eventually are going to get stuck. Now, if you're okay with that, like I personally don't care if I put $25 into something and I'm just doing it to try and make $250. It's kind of like a scratcher. You're putting your money in it to see what's going to happen if you can recruit the people. And hopefully you get paid, or hopefully you're doing it to help the people in the loom, which is what some people are doing because they're not expensive. Now, when you start talking about $100 looms or $1,000 looms, that's a lot of money. And a lot of these people aren't aware of what I'm talking about the blue people not making any money if nobody else comes in. They're also not aware that the pink people don't make no money either if there's no more people. So in this, you can do this and then split it once you have a full group, once you have people that keep asking. And that's the point. So if you have a dedicated group that's just going to do a line, and let's say you have 10 more friends that have heard about what you guys are doing and want to come in, that's why it has to be an even number, because you can split even numbers. Then, boom, you can add 5 more people to a 10-person loom if you split a 10-person loom in half. But if you don't, and you're not doing the line system, which is technically a SuSu, but the difference is a SuSu is for something. You're grouping money for something, or you're grouping money with the intent to have a lump sum at one time of the year. So if we did a SuSu for 12 months, there's 12 of us, we're all paying the same fee every month, and every person is getting a lump sum of money a month. That's the point of a SuSu. A loom, you could literally circle this loom as many times as you want and split it as many times as you get active parties, but you don't want to split a loom until you have the people. See, if you split it and you know you don't have 5 or 10 people waiting, there's no point in splitting it, because now you're just waiting for the people to come in unless you don't care. And that's what you're saying. It's cool, I'll wait for the next 5 people because you know this group has already been paid once. But the whole point is you still have to circle this group to pay one time. Everybody has to get paid in a loom before you split a loom. So if you're splitting a loom and everybody isn't getting paid, then it's not a loom. It's just a Ponzi scheme. It's stupid. Physically, these people can't get paid if more people don't come in. So if everybody isn't rotating a chain where these people are coming out and they're still coming in, and now some of you may be saying, but if I get paid, how is that making money? Well, let's say this is 16 people, right? This person in the middle is making $160. He only paid $10, $20, $50. Even if he got all the way to paying $140, $10 a week, right? When he gets paid, the reason why the math has to work is because one spot is free. He never paid anything to start. So when he gets going, that month he made 50 or 60 bucks. No matter how much money he paid in, there should be a little bit extra because of this person coming in for free and waiting every time. So no matter where you come in, you're going to have extra money, and you take some of the extra money and put it back in the loom and start over again, or pay your portion, or take the profit and set it aside. And that's how you're supposed to do a loom. And that's the difference between a loom and a SuSu. A loom is supposed to split so you can put more people in it. SuSu's never changed. I've seen a SuSu go 30 years and they've never added one new person in it. It's just the same 30 people, and they help the community, and the community comes to them and asks them for things like, hey, Mama La, I need to start a shop. Can your SuSu help us get the shop started? And they'll say, yeah, boom, here you go. So it's the same thing the bank does without having a bank. It's how your black families and ancestors got things. George Jefferson would have started the dry cleaner this way. He wouldn't have went to a bank. He would have went to his neighborhood SuSu or his neighborhood community and got it started.
Indeed.
So if anybody else doesn't have any questions, that pretty much covers anything. Your brother Rude Prophet just walked in, so I'll let him say hi in the background. Is there anything you could think of to ask me that I might not have covered, or anything that I might need to go over?
No. I think you pretty much covered it all, Brother Rude. Yeah.
All right. Does anybody in the chat have any more questions? Because I see there's a lot of you guys in here. And don't feel afraid to call me or ask me anything if you guys have to. The only stupid question is the question you don't ask, so you don't get understanding. Knowledge is power, and if you don't have that power, then you are powerless. Don't make yourself powerless. And if you guys have got everything that you need, then I did a good job, and I'm proud of myself. Other than that, I respect all you guys. Power to the people. I will give you guys my warning. Here's my warning. If you're going to do a loom, actually do it with people you know and figure out the math. If you need help with the math, ask me. It should be an even number with one odd person in the middle. What I mean by that is the loom positions themselves should form an even number, and then the circle in the middle is the 0 number. That number doesn't count because that is the person you're trying to help, or the person that's getting paid. That is the odd number out, which is how the math actually works. So if you have 8 people in a loom, the 9th person is the one that gets paid, not the 8th person. Feel me? So that becomes important. Now, you just have to figure out how often you want the loom to rotate, because it becomes important of Are you paying weekly, hourly, daily? Because you guys are going to have to make however many payments. You're going to have to make payments equal to the number of people in the group. So if there's eight positions in a loom, then you're going to have to make 8 payments to get to the spot where you get paid. So if you wanted to do that a day, you really could, but then you're not actually making more money. You're just circulating money. And that's why looms and susus aren't supposed to be get rich, make $1,000 5 times today type things. They're supposed to be weekly, monthly, paycheck to paycheck things, because you're paying into the loom with a group that you trust over a period of time. Anything super fast is normally bull, or you are doing it with the intent of gambling. And that's fine, because gambling is fine. You're taking a risk, hopefully to get paid, and you're dropping your money with somebody you either trust or know that started a loom, and then they're doing it with the intent that you're going to get a lot of people into it. But like I said, then you're bordering on a Ponzi, and then you have your own issues. So other than that, I want to say respect, power to the people, power to our people, and respect our people. It's your brother Mfalme. I give y'all the peace, give y'all the fist, and I give y'all the black power. And ask any questions in the inbox from this on out. We respect and power to all y'all.